Good afternoon. I'm Nick Newmeyer bringing you a special edition of the Center Cup podcast. And this time we are highlighting some breaking news, some very unfortunate news. At just before 2:30 Central, reports surfaced that Tiger Woods was involved in a two-car rollover crash near his home in Jupiter Island, Florida. The Martin County Sheriff's Office just gave a press conference detailing information about the accident. And so I think it's best to just start off by going through the timeline and everything that has happened. So the sheriff's office said that they received a call about a Land Rover that was rolled over on the driver's side. Early reports indicated from the officers on the scene that the driver may have been impaired. So the way the accident had happened was that a pressure cleaner truck was pulling a pressure cleaning apparatus, excuse me, and was attempting to turn into a driveway when the Land Rover that was behind him was attempting to pass on a residential street. The truck tried to move out of the way and give the Land Rover room to pass. The Land Rover then tried to swerve to avoid contact and clipped the back of the pressure cleaner and then flipped and landed on the driver's side. The driver of the Land Rover was revealed to be Tiger Woods, and he crawled out of the vehicle, did not show signs of injury, did show signs of impairment. Um, he was then um, he was then brought into police custody where he was given a breathalyzer test, which he passed. There was no signs of alcohol. He was the police then asked for a urinalysis, to which Tiger Woods refused. He was then charged with, because he refused the urinalysis, he was then charged with a DUI and property damage and will be spending the minimum 8 hours in jail until he then posts bond. The police had noted that Tiger was cooperative at the scene of the accident, but did not wish to incriminate himself and was very careful of what he said. There were no injuries to both Tiger and the other driver at the time. There will not be a follow-up test. It is Tiger's right to refuse a test. So we will not know if he was under the influence. We will not know anything. But as of now, he is being charged with refusing said test. And so the DUI, property damage, these are all misdemeanor charges. There were no drugs found in the car, but the sheriff did note that officers on the scene reported that Tiger was lethargic, and that he was driving alone. And so that is all the information we got from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. And this is I'm just gonna be frank and say this is a very, very sad day for golf. This is the second sort of breaking news episode that I'm coming to you with this week. And the first one was under incredibly different circumstances. We were just talking about the return of Tiger Woods to semi-competitive golf at TGL and how great he looked and how happy he was, how what it could mean for the implications for the rest of his career, rest of his season. And now for this, I'm truly speechless. I'm really struggling to try and find words to say. This is not at all the news that I was expecting to be that I expected to be reporting on today, and it's truly a sad day for the game of golf. We're 2 weeks out from the Masters, and there was obviously speculation on whether or not Tiger would be competing in the Masters in the first place. But I think it's pretty safe to say right now that he will admittedly not be that he will not be competing in the Masters. I think that's a very fair assumption to make. And I think it's just truly this caught me off guard. I think the first thing that we had made note of was that, first and foremost, why is why is Tiger still why is he still driving in the first place? I think was the big one. He's had multiple instances of accidents and just other controversies behind the wheel. And I think, that's to me, that's the real shame with this. And I think that it truly highlights just the encapsulation of sort of what Tiger Woods' career, what the twilight of Tiger Woods' career has looked like. And I think, it's when you're looking at it all in one piece, you see the golfing legend, you see the 82-time PGA Tour winner, the 15-time major winner, you see TGL, you see the steps he's making in the PGA executive office to try and rework the schedule. But I think it is important to note that, Tiger Woods is not a perfect person. And, we've seen the back end of his career has really just been sort of marred by controversy. We have Golf Channel provided a timeline of just some of these instances right before the press conference. So that in November 2009, Tiger crashed his SUV into a fire hydrant in a tree outside his then home in Windermere, Florida, was cited for careless driving. This came a little under a year before his highly publicized divorce with Ellen Nordegren, the mother of Charlie Woods, um, following a very public cheating scandal where, Tiger had admitted to infidelity, and it became a very, very large controversy. In May 2017, he was arrested on a DUI charge near his home in Jupiter, Florida, after police found him asleep behind the wheel of a parked vehicle. He pled guilty to reckless driving with that as well. And then, of course, in February of 2021, he was involved in a single car crash in Rolling Hills Estates, California, just after the Genesis Invitational. He sustained, it was reported that he was going over 90 miles an hour through a very winding set of roads. I had flipped and had sustained very heavy injuries to his right leg and ankle, almost lost his leg. And that is the injury that he's been attempting to rehab from pretty much ever since. And then obviously today we have the rollover car crash as well. So it's just it has not been sort of the end. I hesitate to use the word fall from grace, but it has been a very shaky last 15 years or so for Tiger Woods. And so I really don't know where to go from here in terms of, what to think. This is someone that, has started to I think in our first episode, we had called him sort of the godfather of golf right now, that he was brought in by the PGA to sort of rework everything so he was playing a very instrumental role in how the PGA would operate long term. And, I question whether or not this is going to impact how that partnership goes on moving forward. This is something we've talked as well about whether or not Tiger Woods would captain the upcoming Ryder Cup team. And now, there's obviously been no official indication. There's been no development with that whatsoever. But, you have to think that that pathway is very, very murky as well. And so, like I said from the beginning, this is just a very sad day for the game of golf, and I just don't know, like just it being so close to the Masters, and obviously, there have been reports earlier this week from President Trump that said that Tiger would be at the Masters but would not be playing. Tiger had stated that he would be there even if he wasn't playing. That's up in the cards now. I don't know if he will be there now. Um, it's just yeah, I really don't know what else to say. This is just to see someone achieve so much at the top of his game and then see this sort of fall from grace and to just have so many controversies sort of taking away from those accomplishments. It's very sad to see because Tiger Woods is a legend. He's the greatest golfer of all time. He has accomplished so much in the game of golf, both on and off the course. He's been a role model to so many people, and just to see that this is how this plays out, it's just it really is a shame. So that's basically everything that happened today. That's we will continue to keep you updated as things progress. For now, we will continue our coverage of the Texas Children's Houston Open. We will be continuing coverage throughout the weekend, and we will obviously be bringing you any developing cases or any developing information in regards to Tiger Woods as they come out. So um, for this special episode of Center Cup, I'm Nick Newmeyer. Have a good rest of your day.